session. So hi everyone, my name is Swati. I work in Bangalore as a wellness coach. I used to work in the IT industry, but over the years, wellness became one of my passions, which I took forward. I'm here in Bangalore since 2006, and I've been working in the IT industry. I've been working in the wellness industry for almost 10 plus years now, and stay here with in a joint family, and I have two children. So today I will be covering a little bit about food combinations which kind of work negatively on our digestive health. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, awesome. So if you see, our entire well-being is dependent on the food that we eat. Our body, our digestive system works on digesting the food that we eat, assimilating the food, and then eliminating the food. And it is highly dependent on the digestive juices that get secreted for the food that we are eating. The digestive juices, if you read about in Ayurveda, it kind of is similar to the agni that works in our system, in our digestive, for our digestion. So there are certain food combinations that work for us. There are certain food combinations which work against our health. Okay. Now, when done properly, like when we are combining the right food, it leads to better health, better digestive health, lesser gas, bloating, flatulence. It leads to better absorption of nutrition in our food, from our food. And it also leads to working on our fat. So any kind of obesity related issues will also come down if we are combining our food well. Okay. But without proper food combinations, the digestive enzymes will not get, the appropriate digestive enzymes will not get released. The proper absorption of nutrition will not happen. And it will lead to a lot of digestive concerns like bloating, gas, and flatulence. Now, there are 4 food groups that we know about. One is protein, carbohydrate, salads, non-starchy vegetables, roots, seeds, herbs, spices, nuts, seed oil, which comes as part of the group 3. And group 4 is fruit. So fruit itself is a group in itself. Okay. Now, protein, if you see, they produce acid juices for their digestion. So if you eat any kind of meat or protein, when you start chewing it properly, your saliva, your system identifies that this is protein that you're eating, and your stomach releases the appropriate juices. Okay, the digestive enzymes. And protein digests slowly. Carbohydrates, on the other hand, are basically all the grains and food made from it, the starchy vegetables. Now, for digestion, they produce alkaline juices. They digest very quickly, and they produce different enzymes. Your stomach secretes different enzymes for their digestion. So that's why it is, appropriately said that chew your food properly, because when you chew your food slowly, your saliva mixes with the food. So the first step of digestion happens in your mouth itself. And based on what you are eating, your system recognizes it, and then it produces the juices, the digestive enzymes accordingly. The third group is basically the salads and the vegetables that we are eating, the nuts, the oils, and they can be digested with group 1 or 2. The fruits should not be combined with any food groups, because the fruit gets digested fastest. And if you're combining it with any of the previous, group 1, group 2, or group 3, it kind of, the fruit sits in your system and starts getting fermented, and that leads to bloating, gas, and acidity. So like I said, some foods will need different enzymes for digestion. Some foods need different conditions in the stomach for digestion, and some others need different, um, they are digested more quickly, right? So like I said, don't eat group 1 and group 2. Group 2 is carbohydrate, group 1 is protein. Another reason for that is protein putrefies in our system and carbohydrate ferments. So if you combine these two, the protein produces acidic juices, carbohydrate produces alkaline juices. Both of them kind of neutralizes in your system, and uh, it leads to indigestion. Now, over the years, if you are already combining these two, your system has got used to it, but that doesn't mean we are eating it in the right way. Vegetables can be eaten with group 1 or group 2. Fruits, like I said, should be eaten by themselves. And we should have 2 hours gap after a carbohydrate rich meal before eating a protein, and a 3-hour gap after eating a protein meal to eat the carbohydrate meal. This is because protein takes almost 4 hours to reach the bowel, and carbohydrate takes two hours from mouth to bowel. Okay, so grain with dairy or meat will produce gas. Fruits with vegetables will make you gassy. Basically, don't combine fruit with any meals. Eat fruit by itself, especially in the mornings. If you eat fruits in the morning, it will be better digested and you will get a burst of energy. Grains with veggies, no gas. Pasta with veggies, no gas. Beans with veggies, no gas. Fish or meat with veggies, no gas. And pulses or beans and grains, no gas. Now, if you see vegetarian diet, especially the legumes, pulses, they have a higher starch content as compared to the protein content in it. So it is fine to eat the pulses, the dal and chawal. Okay, but it is not fine to eat the chicken curry with the chawal. That over a period of time will cause the gassiness. That's why it is recommended to have a bowl of vegetables, and salad along with that meal. So I wanted to also talk about certain food groups and why they should not be eaten together. Okay. So certain food combinations that we should be avoiding and why. The first one is banana and milk. Now it's a very popular combination. We also give it to our children thinking it is healthy. But if you see banana, when it digests, it kind of becomes sour, and it also causes the curdling of the milk. So due to this, certain gassiness and bloating might happen. So banana and milk is not a good combination. If you want to eat banana separately, before having milk, just keep a half an hour gap between these two. Okay. Or if you want to speed up the digestion, or you feeling if you need to have it, then add a little bit of nutmeg or cinnamon to stimulate your digestive juices. The second combination is carbohydrate and protein, animal protein. Okay, now this has been eaten for years. Your system is already gotten used to it, but maybe for the next generation of our children, try to avoid this combination. Okay. Now, like I told before, protein putrefies and carbohydrate ferments, and that leads to bloating and gassiness. And also, these two require different enzymes for digestion, and because of that, the system gets overloaded. And The competing digestive juices, like I said, they're acidic and alkaline, they kind of neutralize, and the food doesn't get digested properly and it rots in the gut. So, please avoid combining carbohydrate and animal protein. Plant protein can be combined with the carbs. The third combination is combining two high proteins like fish and milk, or bacon and eggs, or cheese and meat. Now, these are very popular combinations, like bacon and eggs and cheese and meat is a popular combination, especially in the outside countries. But it takes the digestive system longer time to digest the food, and it sits in your system, and it kind of again it's difficult to digest, and because of that, it leads to a lot of gasiness and bloating. Now, food should not be combined with water or juice. When we are eating food and we gulp down water, it kind of douses our fire. It dilutes our digestive juices. And because of that, it leads, the digestion does not happen properly, and basically, it, douses the agni, and especially the cold water and beverages. So a lot of times we are eating our pizza or something along with cold drink. It's something not to do. Another reason is that it overloads your system with a lot of sugar, and because of that, it spikes your insulin. So again, it's not a good choice. Um, and when the water dilutes the acids, it kind of reduces the effectiveness of breaking down the carbohydrate, protein, and fat in the food, and that leads to malabsorption of nutrition. Okay, so if you really want to drink water with the meals, have warm water or slightly hot water, and that too sips of water. Or if you really want to have water, have it like 20 minutes before the meal, but not no cold water along with the meal. Another food combination to avoid is citrus fruit and milk, because milk takes longer to digest due to the protein content, and citrus fruits coagulate the milk. So that leads to the gasiness. Fruits, like I said, should not be combined with any of the meals or grain. By itself, the fruit should be eaten. Okay, because fruits are the first to get digested in the stomach, and if you combine it with other meal, other food groups in the meal, the other food groups take longer to digest. And since fruit is already digested, it sits in your system and it starts to ferment. And that again leads to the burps and the bloating and everything else. So, yeah, another food group is yogurt and fruits. If you mix your curd with fruits, that's also not a recommended combination, because the yogurt or the curd contains bacteria which will act on your fruits, on the on the sugar present in the fruit. So that's also not recommended. Another popular combination, maybe followed outside India, is basically cereal with milk, and combining it with orange juice. So if you go to buffet, if you're going for a hotel and having a buffet, sometimes we're just eating many of these food combinations without even thinking. So if we combine milk with the acid, orange juice, so that curdles the milk, and that again is not good for our digestion. Then another one is the cheesy food and cold drinks. So that leads to difficulty in absorption and cause stomachache. Another popular combination is cucumber, tomato, and we put a little bit of salt and lemon on it. And sometimes we make raita with cucumber and tomato. It is not recommended. It is not recommended as per Ayurveda. There's a reason behind it. The tomato and the cucumber, they produce two different enzymes which negate in the digestion. So if you eat both of them with the curd, or even single of them with the curd or with lemon and salt, that is also not recommended for the digestion. So this was kind of a revelation for me also, because since childhood we've been eating this combination. Now, since our stomach is used to it, so we don't feel too much of difference. But for somebody who is having a lot of digestive issues, and if you're eating any of these combinations, try and use the elimination technique and see what is not working for you. Okay. um, Another thing that we should be avoiding is honey in the food. A lot of times while we are cooking our food, some of the Western dishes, if we are making, we glaze our food with honey and then we put it for baking. It is something we should not do. Honey, if exposed to heat or cooked, it becomes poisonous. So we should not be cooking honey. We should be having it just drizzled over the food, and just as it is. Okay, because honey has different enzymes and they get destroyed and become poisons and toxic, and this leads to toxicity or ama in our system. Okay. Another thing that I advise to do is, if you're eating watermelon or melons, eat it, don't combine it with any other fruit. Have watermelons by it, by themselves. Have muskmelon by themselves. Don't even combine these two melons, because they have different rate of digestion. That's why. So in fruits also, watermelons have a faster rate of digestion. So don't combine it with other fruits. Have a bowl of watermelon as it is. Okay. So uh, whatever food we are eating, as told before, it impacts our digestive juices. Based on the juices that are released in our system, how much they are released, they lead to better gut health. And if we have a better gut health, and our body is alkaline, there is no way any disease will touch us. And if you are if you have a certain health concern, look at your food combinations, look at the gut health, and look at how fast you're chewing your food. If you're chewing your food extremely fast, you're not giving it time, there's a lot of air which is going in the system also, that will also lead to bloating and acidity. So that's all I had to share. If you have any questions, I will keep this open. The chat is there, you can drop in the questions and I would be happy to answer. Okay. And I'm sure you're part of the registration group. If you do have a question at any point of time later on also, do get in touch with the person who's invited you, and they will also help you in answering the question. So thank you so much. And I hope this was, this was informative, and, I hope you would change a few things in your diet, and have a happy weekend. Thank you.